Continuing on with the breakdown of the Ice Gauntlet and how I like to use it in my build, today we're going to be going ahead and taking a look at one of the areas that I feel the weapon is very strong in Outpost Rush, and those are the big brawls that you get into on the points. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, the Rapier does not have a lot of defense, if not any. You do have parry, but it's a very situational ability, and it really only provides you a momentary amount of defense. And that is the thing that I really like about the Gauntlet. When I say that the abilities are utility based, the thing that I mean by that is that you can use them either offensively or defensively. The abilities themselves aren't inherently damage dealing abilities. They have more function to them. So all three abilities, whether that be the spike or the ice shower or the entomb, as long as I play my cooldowns correctly and try my best to not use all of them at once, you can end up surviving a very long time on points. And depending on which way the fight is swaying, you can still kind of pick out those low health targets, and depending on whether you land your spike or just going for a rapier, end up being able to still take out quite a few people on those points. And so taking a look at an example of that, we have a player kind of clobbering our team outside the point here, not really letting us get in. But as soon as we manage to deal with this player here, you're going to see me just try to navigate my way through this brawl and find some low health targets if we can, to see if we can get some finishes with the Mighty Spike. So we jump into our entomb, and as the player kind of retreats there, we find our opening, go ahead and jump and flush through, and with everything kind of being crazy, we just see if we can go ahead and throw down a shower. We get a beautiful double spike off there, essentially finishing off two low health players in front of us. We see a teammate is trying to go ahead and fight these players outside of the point there, so we go ahead and give him a hand. Land another beautiful spike. With our geared talent, we refresh all of our ice abilities, so we have our shower back up. I throw it down on the second player, finish him off as well, and we're just riding that wave of the ice spike there. Each time we are able to get a finish off with the Mighty Spike, we can essentially just keep going off with that momentum. But as you see, I'm taking quite a bit of pressure here from behind, so I just jump into my entomb. We get the heal off of our healing tomb perk and a little bit of heals from our teammates, and then we're in a fight with a double mage here. So I'm just going to see if I can keep my positioning to not get caught by anything big here. And then we get a lot of assistance from our teammates here. And right as we get the kill there, I get caught in a storm and get taken out. But really riding that wave of the ice spike there. And then a little bit later in the match, we have another brawl where the enemy team is taking over the point. I throw down a spike on the healer and we try to go in for a finish there, but he gets a pretty nice heal off and saves himself there, and then we just jump on the point. And you're gonna see here, part of the way that we are able to survive for so long on brawls is by managing our cooldowns. You see we throw down a really nice entomb there, kind of avoiding the damage of being in that gravity well. And I'm gonna try to focus on the healer here, but take note of the fact that I am always gonna have one of my abilities up to try and help me out, whether that be any one of my ice abilities or flesh or parry. I try to not be in a situation where all of my abilities are on cooldown, because if you use everything at once, it's going to be the situation where you end up dying. But you see we have a pretty tanky healer here, and I'm just trying to do my best to both manage my cooldowns so that if we do get in a sticky situation, I have something to get out of it. But other than that, you see I'm just trying to keep the pressure up, and we do manage to finally take out that healer there. And we have a lot of players kind of bunched up in front of the point here. I try to throw a spike in between them, and I try to go for a flashe, but we get staggered, and I'm trying to just jump in there and get some damage in because a lot of targets are low. We go in, we get a finish on one target, jump into our entomb, negate quite a bit of damage, trying to jump on this last player here. He jumps into his entomb, and then we're just left into a little bit of a standstill here. But I try to throw down my shower just to predict him jumping out of it. He does a good job of waiting it out. We land the spike, almost executed with it, and he tries to get away, but we do a good job of chasing him inside the point. And I'm not letting this girl get away here. We jump in, manage to get the finish, and unfortunately here we get taken out by the meatball of the brute, but a beautiful, beautiful play there, just surviving for as long as we can on that brawl there. And then last but not least here, we have a pretty dire situation on a Baron fight here where pretty much nobody on my team has shown up to pretty much get ready for the fight. We do have some friendly support who's going to end up supporting us on the top of the Baron pit here, but it's going to be essentially just me. And you see as a majority of the team kind of gets on our face there, we negate quite a bit of damage using our Entomb and our parry there, and we manage to escape alive. We throw down a shower and the enemy team decides to just kind of go ahead and go into the pit. And you can see my team calling it out, but at the moment, in the actual pit itself, is going to be pretty much just me and one other player. So while I'm trying to wait for my team to show up, we're not really going to try to go for kills here. The idea is just to try and kind of aggro as many players as I can to get the attention on me and not Baron, and stay alive as long as we can. So we throw down the shower, which kind of gets this hammer player out of our face, which gives us our opening to move on to the point. I'm not really going too aggressive here because if I get caught, I'm going to end up dying pretty quickly here because I am alone, like I said. So I throw down a spike and I try to go for that mage, but we miss it. So I just keep moving and try to see if I can aggro a couple more of these players here. And we do get one or two friendlies on the point with us. We get a pretty nice dodge on the hammer stun there while parrying that first player. We see his health is a little bit low, so we commit to the combo. We get a pretty nice finish there. Turn around and we get a nice stagger off with our spike, and noticing that our teammates have finally started to kind of assist us here. We're starting to turn this fight around a little bit, so we get another little execute off with the spike, and the fight essentially turned from a situation to where it was a free Baron fight for the enemy team to where it is our fight. And as I mentioned, using the mobility and managing our cooldowns is going to be very, very important. And as a couple more of these enemies here kind of trickle in, we just continue to go ahead and finish off all the players who were left to a clear fight here. But one of the strongest things I believe about the Gauntlet is that it gives the rapier enough defense to survive in those longer brawls, like I mentioned. And I feel like it's a weapon that will allow this allows the rapier to kind of fill multiple roles. As you saw, we can either, if we need to, stay alive on points as long as we need to until we get reinforcements, which I really feel the fire staff doesn't allow you to do because, like I said, that weapon has very, very little defense to it. But in addition to that, if we're able to be precise with our spikes and look for those openings, we can still have almost the same amount of lethality that the fire staff has. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I have a couple more topics I want to cover on this weapon that I do have coming in the future, but as always, thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day.